Good morning, bad girls, and all you other scrappers out there. I'm going to show you a quick flower tutorial, and it will look just like this. Lots of dimension, fun, funky. You can use it on your scrapbook pages. You can use it on cards. This makes a great bow for presents and gifts, so you can keep that in mind. So let's get started. And because it's April, I thought that I would remind you or share with you an unlikely scrapbooking tool, your paper shredder. I use this all the time to create paper strips. You can certainly cut them by hand, but what a lovely and quick tool to use when you need to create paper strips. So let's get started. All right, my friends. So what I'm going to do is quickly prepare my paper. And this month's April scrapbooking Bad Girls kit has lots of wonderful, bright, and delicious papers. So I'm going to use this butterfly paper to create this flower. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the paper down to 8.5 by 11 so that it will easily fit into my paper trimmer. Now you can certainly use an even smaller sheet than 8.5 by 11 if you would like to do so. Alright, so once you've done that, you're going to take your paper trimmer, and this may be a little bit loud, so if you'll just bear with me. Now normally if I'm shredding documents, I have this over a trash can, but this will work fine for me to show you how I do this. There you go. And we have now trimmed or shredded multiple sheets. Now I'm going to unplug this and put this aside. Alright, so now that I have all these wonderful and beautiful strips of paper, and what's nice about this American Craft paper that's in this month's kit, it has a lovely yellow side, which I think adds a nice touch to the flower, so that both sides of the flower are quite beautiful. Okay, so once we've done that, you can decide how big you want your flower. The flower that I showed you, I used these strips cut in half. Alright, so essentially they're 5.5 inches long. If you want an even smaller flower, then you'll want to cut the strips appropriately. Alright, but I'm going to show you as if we're making the larger flower. Okay, so you could then put each of these strips back through your trimmer to neatly cut them, but I'm not that concerned, so I'm just going to take a handful, my first handful, oops, and I'm going to cut it in half, and you can bend it so you get a pretty good sense of where you cut it. Alright, and then I'll set those aside, and I'll go through all of my strips here, cutting them in half. And again, don't worry, you don't have to be too particular and fussy with this. Okay. And another handful. And then the last little batch. Okay, now once we've done that, you're going to take, or you'll need a stapler. You'll take your stapler, and then you'll put a handful of your paper strips together. And let's see, I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I just kind of angle them all around, making sure that you keep your center here. Okay, and then once I have a good amount together, I go in and I staple the center. Alright, and then I may go back if a few are slipping and staple the center again. Now I put that bundle aside, and then I work on another bundle. I've tried this, or initially when I was trying to make these flowers, trying to do all of the little paper strips at the same time, and that does not work well. So based on my experiments, this seems to actually work the easiest. Okay, but I'm sure there are a gazillion other methods that you could use to do this. So again, I've created using another bundle, another little flower, and I get in there with my stapler and I staple. And if you lose a strip, that's okay. You can let that strip fall and you can go back later with that strip. Okay, and then I sit that over there with my other one. And I'll do about 3 or 4, depending on how full I want my flower to look. About 3 or 4 layers. So I'm going to do 2 more here at least. Okay, and a lot also depends on how many strips you put in each little bundle. Okay, and then I'll come in again. Okay, let's do 1 more, and I think you'll get the point. And if you have extra strips left over that you don't use, there are a gazillion other ways for you to use the leftover strips on your pages. Paper ribbons, in terms of folding and bending the leftover strips, is a great way to use up some of these additional pieces. Okay, so I'm going to make sure this one is a nice and thick bundle here, since it's going to be my last bundle. All right. So then I'm going to come in one last time. And then I'm going to come around and staple again. Okay. So I'm going to put the extra strips. And I probably have, I don't know, about 15 strips or so left over. And I will certainly find another way to use those with my extra paper. So you actually, even with 1 flower, you have a lot of leftover paper from 1 12 by 12 sheet. Okay, so now I have 4 bundles, and you see they're not all exact or the same, but I'm going to take my dots, and I'll take 1 dot, and I'll put that on top, and then I'll take another one, and I'll situate it so that I get a nice kind of even scattering. So that's 1. Then I'll put another on top. And I'm going to hit that right here so that I'm getting an even spread. Okay. And then 1 more on top with my final. Okay. And so there we go. Now that looks cute, but it's not cute enough. So the next step is to give it dimension, to make it fun. And that's where you come in with your hand, and the side that I'm actually going to place on the page, I scrunch down initially, but then I'm going to begin to scrunch up. And you'll see I'm kind of placing my finger in there. Okay? And then you can even go through and move some down. Don't be afraid to really get in there with your paper. Assuming you're using American Craft or a nice, wonderful, hefty stock paper, you will be able to really play with your paper. So whether you're using the Sassafras Last from this month's kit or the American Craft, you do not have to be too gentle. You see 1 little piece fell off, but that's fine. Okay? So you see I really just let all of my frustrations out and had fun crumpling and folding. Okay. So now, once I'm pleased with the general look of my flower, I'm going to use my paper whimsies that came in the kit this month. And I want to use, let's see, there are these smaller, I'm going to use this little circle here. And the other option is to actually use this flower. And I think I'm going to do that. But what I want to do is kind of curve my petals up. Okay. There we go. So that we have, again, okay. All right. So I like the way that feels. So I'm going to put a dot under that, stick this in the middle. Okay. Ooh. So I'm actually not going to use this. I was, but I changed my mind. And one can do that. And I'm going to pull out the Jenny Bolin rhinestone buttons, which are simply divine. And I think I'm going to stick one of those in the center. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, I love this, I love this. Okay, can you see? Oh, isn't that just so fun? All right, so give it a try. Have some fun. Don't let tax time, the month of April, stress you out. Pull out your Bad Girls kit.